Hello friends and welcome back. A big shout out to my friends in Mumbai, Kalyan, Vadodara, Middle East. Thanks for so many views on day one itself and so many subscriptions. Thank you very much, and I hope you like the next video too. In my previous video I was talking about the dilemma for the American NRI. So if you had not watched that video and you're seeing this video for the first time, I would encourage you to have a look at the previous video. I put the link below. In this segment today, what we're going to talk about is the Howdy Modi event that happened in Houston, Texas yesterday. Overall, it was a fantastic event. It was pretty remarkable in the sense that there were 50,000 people packed into a capacity-packed stadium, and reports are that there were many more who couldn't get in because there was lack of capacity. So that's one thing. The other fact which Modi pointed out later on in his introduction to Trump was the fact that almost 1 billion people are watching it from India at that late an hour on live television, and many million other people of Indian origin across the globe, including myself here in Toronto. So overall it was a mega event, and would that make the first page of tomorrow's American newspapers? I think not, because just like us in India, Americans are also very self-absorbed, and they have too many things going on, and that takes center stage always. So having said that, overall this event meant a lot, and I think it was a spectacular success, because Modi managed to achieve all his objectives, and also in the process made the decision for the American NRI, which now the NRI has to decide whether he's going to follow through with it or he's going to go the other way. So if I was to break down the Howdy Modi event, I would look at it in 3 segments. Segment 1 was Modi introducing Trump. Segment 2 was Trump on a campaign mode speech, also interspersing with India-US relations sound bites. And then the third part was Modi giving a full-fledged speech covering domestic as well as international and India-US issues. So overall, if you look at those 3 segments and start with the first one, let us say we start off with the introduction. So Modi did a fantastic introduction, and as you all know, President Trump likes mega rallies, and he likes to have lots of people in the stadium cheering him, and he likes to look at viewership numbers and ratings and things like that. So right off the bat, Modi was speaking in the language that Trump understands. So he laid it out there that almost 1 billion viewers were there in India watching it at late night, and that more than a few millions watching across the world, people of Indian origin. And also he pointed to the capacity crowd of 55,000 within the packed stadium, and the fact that many could not get in due to capacity constraints. So that itself should have been an appetizer for Trump. And later on, Modi went on to praise Trump by saying that everyone in the planet knows Trump and he needs no introduction. So that was the superlative that Modi deployed right off the bat. And then he went on to say that Trump was famous and popular even before he became the president. So that was another layer on top of everything that was already there. And finally, he completed the whole introduction with a masterstroke, where he said that he experienced a lot of warmth from Trump when he introduced him to his family in 2017, and that whenever Modi has visited Trump, it has been nothing but friendship and warmth. So he then turned around and said that now it is my privilege to introduce you to my family. And then he pointed to the crowd, and the crowd just burst out in applause, and there was a roar in the stadium that was unimaginable. So I'm pretty sure that all of those things must have really pumped up Trump, because Trump is the person who understands. This is the currency in which Trump trades. So that was the end of the first segment. Then Trump took the stage, and Trump spoke about all his achievements, and how he's a great friend for India. And then he spoke about terrorism and how US is going to fight terrorism everywhere. And then came Modi's segment, where Modi picked up the terrorism piece that Trump had talked about, and then linked it to the terrorist attack in Mumbai as well as the 9/11, and said that the perpetrators of both these events were to be found in the same place, in the same geographic location. Without mentioning our neighbor, Modi kind of communicated the fact that there are state-sponsored terrorism outlets which need to be brought under control. And so that was one of the aspects of Modi's speech, where he enlisted the help of US in this area. And this is more significant because the UN sessions are going on this week, and there's going to be a speech by Imran Khan, or there will also be some speeches by Modi. So this in the backdrop of the UN session that is impending, this takes a bit of a significance. It's like a posturing before that. There were other things that Modi talked about. So he had to communicate to the non-resident Indians who are not in India on a daily basis all the achievements that have been made, and he counted quite a few, right from electrification to roads to the millions of toilets that were built and the gas connections that were provided. So all those things were laid out there for the people to understand and get it firsthand from the Prime Minister. And after that, Modi went on to talk about how we have made some tax cuts and given a lot of incentives for foreign companies to do with ease of business in India, making ease of business in India the top priority for this government, and thereby also mentioned that he had spoken to a lot of American CEOs with an aim to promote the Make in India project. So overall, I think we could kind of say that probably the angle would have been that you can kill two birds with one stone. Like for Trump, economy was the only thing that was going well for him. Everything else was kind of in a disarray. And coming close to 2020 election, economy seems to be a bit dicey for Trump, especially with the slowdown. And he has got a public feud with the Fed for cutting interest rates, and the whole thing is getting to be a kind of a train wreck right now. And in between all these things, probably the source of all these things is the trade war that he picked up with China, which doesn't seem to be resolving anytime soon. So I think, coming back to the theme of killing two birds with one stone, if the American companies were in a position to move some of their production from China to India, that would help Modi in his Make in India campaign. It would also help to push up the GDP, which is flagging at 5%, and take it a bit higher, and work our way towards the 5 trillion economy target that Modi has kept for 2024. And on the other hand, it would also provide a bit of relief to Trump from the trade war stress that he's facing, and it could be mutually beneficial. So we have to wait and see how that thing plays out, but that is definitely there. And before I conclude this segment, I would probably say that it almost seemed like Modi was endorsing Trump. And it almost seemed like Modi was telling the 50,000 NRIs or 55,000 NRIs in the stadium that vote for Trump, and he will be a friend for India. It seemed almost like that without putting all the words in place, but when you look at the sum of everything that happened in the evening, that's what it looked like. So then I go back to my earlier video where I said it's a big dilemma for the Indian NRI. So Modi has kind of made a indirect suggestion to the Indian NRIs that Indian American NRIs that go ahead and Trump will be good for India. So now this could work in different ways, but I would just like to go back to a bit of a backdrop of what has been happening to India before. All over this period of time since our independence, despite us being the multicultural largest democracy, which has been a very responsible nation in all respects, we have never had the full endorsement and support of United States in any situation that we really needed them. Also, there was a time when India-Pakistan tensions were high, and US provided F-15 aircraft to Pakistan despite our objections. And our only steady friend throughout has been Russia, which has been providing us with all defense equipment, and we have a great deal of defense integration with them in terms of production of defense equipment. And that's been the mainstay. And this has been the case regardless of whether it has been a Democratic president or a conservative president. This has been the story. Now what we have here is what I would call as a black swan event, where we have a conservative president who has for generations been a Democratic donor, big time Democratic donor. And in my personal opinion, I don't think Trump is either Democratic or conservative. I don't think he has any convictions in terms of which philosophy to approach. But what appeals to him is what is going to benefit Donald Trump. And I think in this particular event, Modi has clearly put a lot of benefits out there for Trump so that he can be India friendly in anything that India is looking for. And in the backdrop of what's going to play out in the UN, and the given Article 370 issues that Modi is handling, I think this was an opportunity that had to be taken. Because regardless of whatever we do, whether we support Trump or we don't support Trump, even if we supported Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders or whoever becomes the president, they are not going to change their policy towards India. It's always been, it's never been, US has never been a pro-India country, has never given us the support, especially at the time when we needed it. And this is a kind of a black swan event that we cannot miss. And you never know, Trump may win and come back for the next term. So I think Modi has taken a calculated gamble out here. We'll have to wait and see how everything plays out. So that kind of concludes this session. I just want to mention what I'm going to talk about next. So I've been looking at videos put out by a channel called The Print. And there are a few things that I want to talk about that. I mean, it's all reserved for the next session because I don't want my videos to go more than 10 minutes. So stay tuned in for the next episode. And till then, bye. Please share, forward, and help me grow this channel. And also let me know what you would like to hear next. Okay? Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.